has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
So get the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android in the Play Store. You're going to love it. You can listen to the network on there. You can watch the network on there. It's free. I mean, it's got it all. In-game odds, you name it. Follow your favorite hosts like Carver High on the SportsGrid app. Everybody's doing it. They just won't admit it. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Hey, did you know we're streaming on X as well? Just go to SportsGrid-Live, and you can watch us streaming on X every day, all day, 7 days a week. You can get the Ferrall Coast to Coast and Ferrall on the Bench podcast every day, Monday through Friday on iTunes. Tonight's lineup on the TV side for SportsGrid TV, you got at 6 after this show, 6 East, Game Time Decisions with the Kevin Walsh. And then at 8 to 10 Eastern, you've got In-Game Live, the great show with Scotty Wetzel, Opposite Picks, my boy, and, of course, the mayor of Miami, Joe Ranieri, tonight, In-Game Live, 8 to 10, and then 10 to midnight at Sports Rage with Gabe Morency. On the radio side, it's Carver and Lisi from 8 to 10 on SportsGrid Radio and all of our radio affiliates on Sports Byline and SiriusXM Channel 159. The lineup for tonight on SportsGrid TV and SportsGrid Radio, and you need to be in on both, I think, frankly. I think you should watch Wetzel and Ranieri while you're listening to Carver and Lisi. And if you can't juggle both and chew gum at the same time, then what good are you?
It really is true. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do both at some point.
Just do
it's
it.
possible. You know, you got
Get your fix.
Think of it this way: you have 2 ears, right? I mean, you put one in one, you put one in the other. You get like a little earbud. You just, watch one on the TV, put the other in the one ear earbud. You hear the other one on the TV. That's just how you could do it. I mean, there are ways for it to happen. One more thing about last night in the Warrior game I wanted to bring up with you, because I know you saw this. The quality of the audio sucked, so I didn't play it. But Kerr got a tech last night because he was giving the ref the business. And I saw the play that had happened about him not calling a travel. And I know we've talked about this a lot in the past about how they just don't call the travels in the NBA. And Kerr went on like a 3-minute diatribe about it last night after the game. Your thoughts on Kerr's opinion of the traveling epidemic in the NBA?
Well, he's right that they should call it because it happens every 5 minutes. And guys walk and take multiple steps and they never call it. And then once or twice a game, they'll call it. Meanwhile, there's 10 walks a game, at least in the NBA, and they don't call it. And it's embarrassing. And his point being that I think he's right, that footwork is the essence of the game. Great players with the pivot foot are able to do things, with pump fakes and dragging and, spinning around and getting people up in the air and leaving that pivot foot down. And then when guys walk and get away with it, it's really bullshack. It's funny. They call it at every level. They call it in AAU. They call it in high school. They call it in girls and boys. I was in a game last night and they called traveling 6 times on this team that we were playing. They kept walking and the guy kept calling it, and so did this chick. And they kept calling it and they kept arguing with him. And, I'm like, what do you think this is the NBA? The only league they don't call walking in this country is the NBA. And it's embarrassing. It's a gigantic, I think, turnover. I think it should be automatic. If you walk, you walk. It's as simple as that. Make the call. Walking to me is a turnover. It's a way, if you can get someone to drag that foot, move that pivot foot, walk, it's a turnover. It's a possession. It's a basket for the other team if they take advantage of it. The fact that they don't call it is laughable. The game has changed so much. All it's about now is threes And back in the day, it was so much better. It really was when it was violent and physical. I thought the game was way better when it was, all hands on deck and guys were fighting and fouling and hammering and getting physical and banging, and that they would allow banging. And nowadays, you touch a guy, it's free throws.
Right. That's pretty much what it's become all around the league. All right. I told you I'd play you this earlier. Hawks beat the Grizzlies last night, 132-130. This was the highest total in the NBA this year. It was 251.5, and it got by it without a sweat. Here we go. Final seconds in this game where you're going to get the Great Barrier Thief getting involved, and then they get it to LeVert for the win on FanDuel Sportsnet.
8 seconds, 7. Desmond Bain barrels in. Stolen by Daniels. Ahead to LeVert. Karras goes up. Scores!
Game.
And the buzzer! Game. It's all over!
Game.
Karras LeVert wins it for the Hawks.
Game.
A steal and lay-in.
I got to tell you, this guy, the Great Barrier Thief is incredible. LeVert don't even want to be there, and he's coming up big off of that steal and dribbling it in and going reverse layup to finish it. I thought, and this kid, Shai, I think is getting better and better. Remember when he got drafted, everybody said, oh, he'll never amount to anything. And some foreigner, blah, blah, blah. And he's turning it into a baller. They got Hunter. I mean, they got all these guys. They had Hunter. They have all these guys that I think are balling out. And it's unbelievable to me they stole that game on the road in Memphis. Seriously, they had no business winning that game. That game was in the bag, and they blew it. And when you think about it, Memphis blew the game Friday night, they blew the game Saturday night, and they blew the game Monday night. I mean, they're just blowing games left and right. So I'm starting to wonder about the Grizzlies, who were, top 4 in the West. I'm starting to wonder about them closing games, finishing games. The other team that's had all kinds of problems with that in the East is the Heat. They've blown more leads than any team in the NBA.
Shai last night, 11 for 13 from the floor, 5 of 7 from 3. He had 27 points. Really good night for him.
How do you like them
11
apples?
for 13. That's pretty good. Real good night for Shai.
Not as good as my 5 for 5, son.
5 for 5. Thunder beat the Rockets 137-128. SGA with 51. That's his 4th 50-piece of the season. Quickly, SGA says winning more important than big numbers.
For me, I just think you play the game to win. You don't play the game to score a bunch of points. You don't play the game to get a bunch of rebounds or assists or steals, for stats. You don't play for anything besides to win. And that's what it's all about. And, obviously, stats and the individual stuff puts you in another stratosphere, but to get over that hump and to be, regarded as one of the better players to ever play, you have to win. Because if you don't win, then it's all for nothing. That's just how I see it. And that's how I see it in golf. That's how I see it in football. That's how I see it in competition, period. And winning is the be-all, end-all for me.
Yeah, except that when you put up those numbers, that's how you get paid in the NBA. If you have stats, you get paid. And guys play the game for stats. And they play to win, but they play, I think, selfishly for stats to get paid. The only way you're going to become a big-time, highly paid superstar in the NBA is with gigantic numbers. And if you don't think that the Joker knows that he averaged a triple-double in February and that he goes out every night and has a trip dub and that he knows what he's doing, and if you don't think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander knows that he's got 450 burgers, you're imagining things. Believe me, these guys know all too well what they're scoring at night.
Brady Tkachuk saying that if his brother did miss that overtime period against Canada like we saw him do, it must be serious out there. And of course, Brady Tkachuk, not a doctor, but you've got to wonder the status of Matthew Tkachuk and what we're going to find out.
Game time for all of these teams and all these players that were, teammates. Now they're facing off against each other. Now they're back to being teammates, whatever it might be. Like, it's time to get things rolling back in the right direction.
NHL Today, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
St. John's could be a 2 seed. I'm going to say something crazy right now. St. John's wins out, they can get the 1 seed in the East. And they go through Providence and then Newark. So if St. John's stays away from Auburn and Duke, I think St. John's comes out of the East. And I think Auburn, Duke, Houston, St. John's is your Final Four.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
So we told you yesterday on Coast to Coast that the Sixers ripped a lot of tickets up Saturday night when they beat the Dubs in the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. A shocking upset that they would turn right around and lose at home to the Blazers. Did we not tell you they're not capable of winning 2 games in a row? They're not. And they got their ass beat last night again.
They did. 119-102. Portland takes care of business in Philadelphia against the Sixers. Elsewhere, Heat beat the Wizards 106-90. Bam Adebayo breaks the Heat record for most double-doubles. Nice job by him. And then the Pistons late night beat up Utah 134-106. No sweat for them last night as that game got very ugly very quickly in that one. All right, weekly look here at the best and the worst against the spread. Of course, we always do that here on C2C. Cavs and Thunder still at the top, but how about the Blazers that we just mentioned? They are there. Blazers, Pistons, Raptors. So Blazers and Raptors, 2 teams with losing records among the 5 best teams against the spread this year. On the low side, Suns, Sixers, Kings, Pelicans, the worst against the spread.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all that the Sixers and Suns are on that list, or the Pelicans. I am surprised that the Kings are on that list. I think with Zach LaVine and DeRozan, and when Sabonis is healthy, they shouldn't be on that list, but they are right now.
They are indeed. All right, odds to win the East. Celtics still minus money. They're minus 125, but the Cavs are now plus 210. Knicks 7-1, Bucks 16-1, everyone else 40-1 or longer.
I mean, honestly, okay, now I've already said those 4 are the teams that are the deal in the East, but I've also said if you're going to get me the Pacers at 40-1, the way they perform in the postseason, this unit, I mean, this is the same team, right? It literally is the same team, and they are dangerous. Halliburton, McConnell, Siakam, Turner, Naismith. They got all these guys. Nebhart. I'm telling you, 40-1. Did they not just go to the Eastern Finals? 40-1. Like, I know it's just so easy to take the Celtics and the Cavs. I'll give the Cavs the comeback. The 25-point comeback at Boston, to me, was the most unbelievable thing I've seen in the NBA this year, including any last-second shots or half-court shots or anything else. When you're down 25 to the Boston Celtics and you win, that's saying something right there, that they're legit.
Indeed. On the Western Conference side of things right now, of course, the Thunder also minus money, minus 115. Nuggets and Lakers are both 6-1. Warriors 7-1. Grizzlies 14. Everyone else is 35-1 or longer.
The only outsider now viable to me is the Timberwolves. Eliminate Dallas from the list now. They're shot. And I would replace them with the Rockets. So you're giving me the Rockets at 35-1?
No, the Rockets are actually 50. So if the Rockets are 50, the T-Wolves are 50. So they fall in that 50-1 to win the West right now. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, were the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Final?
They were.
And they're 50-1. And the Rockets, what they do every night. Did the Rockets cover for me last night with 10? It went to 14.5, by the way, from 6 o'clock until tip-off at 8, whatever. It went up 4.5 points. I got it at 10, and I covered that for you, too. The Rockets covered. I watched that game. It was fantastic, and I told you the plans. Go, play my game, win, come home, rum up, and watch the Rockets cover a 10 piece of beef in OKC. And they lost by 9. Boom.
Nice job.
50-1 you're giving me? 50-1 for Christ's sakes.
50.
That's like some of your golf bets. 60, 90-1, 120-1. That's we're going in to put it with the golf.
Be nice if we got a couple of those this week at Bay Hill. We could use a few of those big hits.
Less commercials at Bay Hill this week, I'm hearing.
I've heard that before out of them. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. Lakers went from 10th in the West to 2nd in the West in 77 short days. That is
Luka's
where they sit
number.
Now.
Did you notice that's his number?
Yeah. There you go. That's the significance for us right there. Isaiah Thomas, remember we told you a couple of weeks ago, he's back in the G League.
It's a baller.
Filling it up as always, 28.9 points per game. He just fills it up. That's all.
Do you know how hard it is to score 29 points a game in any league? I don't care what league you're playing in. That's impressive. At his age. And honestly, he's been out of the league for like a few years now. At least, 3-4 years?
About that, yes. Minimum.
I mean, this guy's playing down at the Y. Now he's playing in the G League, and he's torching 29 a night. I mean, that's some serious New York strip right there, baby. That is filling it up. You know what they call that? He's eating. He getting his.
Gotta eat it up. Mark Deneau of Oklahoma City and J.B. Bickerstaff Pistons were the February NBA coaches of the month. Zach LaVine and Jalen Brunson named players of the week. I also saw LeBron was named player of the month also for the month of February as he continues to just fill
LeBron's
it up.
Always, he's always something. In fact, I think he was the first to comment about Kyrie's knee. He's always involved in everything, you know?
Was he? What? He chimed in on that too?
He chimed in on that first, even before Luka.
All right.
He beat him to it. He's like, I just posted it, and then Luka ran in the corner with his phone and did something.
We'll come back. Pretty good night of games here for us on a Tuesday. Of course, we mentioned the Warriors are at the Garden against the Knicks. We have got the Clippers and the Suns tonight, if that excites you. Milwaukee and Atlanta. Houston is in Indy tonight. That's a good game.
Now that's a game.
Pacers.
Now that's
a good game. Yep. So we will give you all those numbers when we come back.
You'll see how good the Pacers are tonight, baby.
Brady Tkachuk saying that if his brother did miss that overtime period against Canada like we saw him do, it must be serious out there. And of course, Brady Tkachuk, not a doctor, but you've got to wonder the status of Matthew Tkachuk and what we're going to find out.
Game time for all of these teams and all these players that were, teammates. Now they're facing off against each other. Now they're back to being teammates, whatever it might be. Like, it's time to get things rolling back in the right direction.
NHL today, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
St. John's could be a 2 seed. I'm going to say something crazy right now. St. John's wins out, they can get the 1 seed in the East. And they go through Providence and then Newark. So if St. John's stays away from Auburn and Duke, I think St. John's comes out of the East. And I think Auburn, Duke, Houston, St. John's is your Final Four.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Carver High disappointed in Mbappe right now. The highly paid Mbappe not scoring in this game for Real. So what is happening in these Champions League games? Obviously, you're disappointed.
Well, listen, Real Madrid is up 2-1 on Atletico. They're in the 66th minute. And look, I don't like to get too deep in the weeds when it comes to the soccer. You know what I'm doing when it comes to these Champions League games and goal scorers. I'm playing the hits. All right? I ain't going. I'm not going deep diving down the roster looking for big fish. I'm playing the Mbappes. I'm playing all the big names: Julian Alvarez, Mbappe, Lewandowski. I play all the big hits. So I'm looking for Mbappe to score. I don't need Rodrigo and Diaz. I know Rodrigo's really good, believe me. But I need some other guys. Now Alvarez did score for me on the other side for Atletico, so that's pretty good too. But could we get one from Mbappe here? They're putting some pressure on, so hopefully. Arsenal's up 5-1.
The Gunners.
PSV, and that's at their place. So that's going to be a pretty tough road for PSV to hoe when they go back to Arsenal next week for the second leg. And Dortmund is up 1-0 for Dortmund right now as they are getting involved too. So we've got Champions League today and tomorrow. A couple good ones tomorrow, by the way. If you want to get yourself fired up for tomorrow or get your stuff ready to go here. I believe tomorrow, PSG against Liverpool tomorrow. Really good game. Bayern versus Leverkusen. You've got Barcelona against Benfica, so some good matchups tomorrow too in the Champions League. Let's get to tonight, though, in the NBA.
Liverpool's good. I like Liverpool, and I'm going Dortmund.
Yeah. Dortmund, baby. All right, let's start with that game you said could be the best of the night. The Rockets, off the loss to OKC last night, are in Indianapolis against the Pacers. Pacers minus 3.5, 232.5 the total.
Look, I'll give you that the Rockets are young for the most part, and I think that they played an incredible game last night in Oak City, and they lost, and then they had to fly to Indy and play this team tonight. I'm on the Pacers. Lay the 3.5, Halliburton and company, Siakam. I just think this team is no joke. I mean, 34-25. I think they'll get it done at the Fieldhouse.
Okay, next, the Raptors are in Orlando against the Magic tonight. Orlando minus 7.5, 207.5 the total. You know, we just showed you there. Like, Raptors never win these games, but they don't win games, but they cover these games where they're getting some juicy numbers. Tonight might be like that again for me.
It's got to be. Give me the Raptors in 7.5 at the Kia. I've already seen the Magic barf all over their bib.
Next, the Bucks are in Atlanta, so back-to-back for the Hawks. They played the Grizz last night. They've got the Bucks tonight. Minus 5.5 for Milwaukee on the road. 242.5 the total.
Again, after what I saw last night, I'll take the Hawks in the 6th spot at State Farm in Atlanta.
Warriors are at the Garden against the Knicks. This is the first half of the TV doubleheader tonight. Now, a couple things to watch. We talked about Curry with the ankle. He's a game-time decision. Cat for the Knicks also is questionable game-time decision tonight. They listed that as personal reasons, so we'll see if Cat will be out there. Knicks minus 5.5, 226.5 the total. 9
straight they've beaten them. I mean, 9 straight. Like, that's something I can sink my teeth into. Give me the Dubs in the 5.5. The Knicks I love. I want them to win, except they never beat good teams. And I don't,
never.
They have a better record than the Dubs, but I'm not sure they're better. I can guarantee you what's going to happen tonight in that game is that Jimmy Lymphoma is going to show up at the Garden. So is Dre. They're lucky Kuminga's not playing. I'm hearing he's coming back this weekend, Saturday. Maybe, I think against Detroit or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. But I heard he's coming back. He's not back yet. But if they had him, I'd be all over him. I'm going to take him anyway with a 5.5 just based on Curry's ability to beat the Knicks. 9 straight. Like he owns them. Kryptonite City.
Loves the Garden. Loves the Garden indeed. All right, we'll come back and we'll finish these off. I've got 5 more for you, including the Cavs that laying some heavy lumber in Chicago, Pelicans late night in LA against the Lakers, and a few other games that we'll do.
The Eagles got it done. If you back them, you're celebrating. Football season may be over, but the action never stops.
Are you ready for some baseball?
At SportsGrid, we're always in the game. We bring you 24/7 betting insights, expert picks, and real-time analysis. Next big play is already in motion. Are you ready? It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. But I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Slavia just told me he doesn't care about my basketball stories at all. He'd rather eat waffles all morning with whipped cream on them. And that's just not good for you. I'm concerned about him, Carver High. I really am. We still have 5 more NBA games to talk about tonight.
We certainly do. Why don't we go to Chicago next? One of the games that has some heavy lumber in it. The Cavs laying 12.5 on the road against the Bulls. 243.5 the total this evening.
Yeah, now this is belt to ass time right here. For me, this one should be easy pickings for the Cavs. They whacked the Bulls tonight in Chicago. On the west side.
The other heavy lumber game of the night is in Minnesota. The Sixers, of course, got worked at home by Portland last night. Now they go to Minnesota where they'll see the Timberwolves. 14.5, 2 tutties and a hook. 219.5 the total.
You know, I got to tell you, now this is the Rogie Vachon play of the night. I'm going to go Philly with the 14.5 because they suck so bad that the Timberwolves are going to sleepwalk through this game. They're going to treat them like they don't matter. They're going to play down to them. This is a game that the T-Wolves should win by 30, right? But they're going to F around with the Sixers tonight and Paul George and Maxi Pad and Oubre and company. And I'm going to go for it. There's got to be something crazy that happens tonight in the NBA, and I think that'll be it. I think, Mini should win easily, but they won't cover the fat 2 touchdowns and a hook. Crazy. I'm crazy to bet on them.
Yeah, hey, you gotta roll the dice sometimes. You gotta go after it. The Nets are in San Antonio against the Spurs. Spurs minus 3.5, 228.5 the total right now.
I like Fox and Castle at home to win and cover this game against the Nets.
There you go. Second game of the TV doubleheader, Clippers and the Suns. Both teams struggling, to say the least. Of course, the Clippers are coming off losing those 2 games to the Lakers. The Suns have actually beaten the Clippers all 3 times they've played this year. Can they go for the season sweep? Clips minus 2.5, 224.5 the total.
I can't even believe you just said that they've beaten them 3 times.
All 3 meetings. Suns of 3-0 against the Clippers this year.
That is crazy to me. So I guess it's got to be Suns plus 3. They own them. You beat them 3 times, and you can't beat anybody else in the league. That's the one team that you can, have matchup problems with and beat. Then give me D-Book and Beal and KD and the Suns at the footprint.
Now the one thing I'll say is 2 of those games were way back in the beginning of the season before the wheels came off the bus for the Suns. I mean, way back early in the season. They played twice in the first 2 weeks. So those were real early in the season games. The Suns are a much different team now. They've quit.
Well, I think
so that's the only thing.
I think they've been literally embarrassing themselves of late. And I think that, show some pride. I mean, can you win a game ever? Are you just going to tank out? Is that the deal? You can't win a game. And you got these star players on this team. There's nothing wrong with all 3 of them. There's nothing wrong with them. They're healthy. And they can't win a game? I mean, it's almost laughable. Are you kidding me? And all we ever hear about is how great he is, Durant. All we ever hear about is where's he going next? He's just so great. Has anyone noticed, like I have, all he did in Brooklyn and Phoenix was lose. I said earlier on this show, here's another guy that gets his every night. He knows what he needs to get to keep that paycheck high, right? Yeah. But he doesn't win. He only won in Golden State. That's it. He played with a great team. He won. He played on super teams, which were never super. They were crappy teams that never won. And he's on one right now. He never wins. It's unbelievable. And then I'm sitting here going to bet on him? I must be stupid.
And finally, late night, 10:30 East tip at the Crypto. The Lakers are looking for 7 in a row. And they have the Pelicans coming into town. Both Luka and LeBron probable tonight, so they should play. Lakers minus 9.5, 228.5 the total.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I want to take the Lakers, but the Pelicans have been playing really well and covering left and right. And that's brutal, though. That game at LA, the way the Lakers are playing, I still got to take the Lakers. I still got to take them, and they got to win by 10. But the Pelicans have been winning and covering left and right.
They've been spunky lately. That's for sure. They've been a little spunky.
Have they not? I mean, like honestly, let's just look at it. So they won at the Jazz in their first game Sunday in February. You go back to the end of March, they lost at the Suns big, but they beat the Suns in Phoenix, the Spurs twice, the Kings. I mean, they've been playing good ball. They've been playing decent ball. And when they do, Zion Williamson is playing. When he's not playing, they don't. Is he playing tonight?
Well, they didn't play last night, and they don't play tomorrow. So that means he should be in, playing. Right? He only sits when there's a back-to-back. So he's playing tonight.
I'll do the drunk play of the day. Give me the 10 and the Pelicans against the Lakers at the Crypt. Because this is so automatic for the Lakers. Such a done deal that they shouldn't even play the game. And then I got to get in on that. Give me the 10. Because I can get it at 10.
There you go.
I got the Rockets at 10 last night against the Thunder, so laugh at me all you want.
That's your night in the NBA. Plenty of games to get involved with, that's for sure. All right, I've got a lot of college rack that we have to do today. I'll at least start this here, and then we'll get into tonight's stuff after the break. Houston beat Kansas last night. Didn't cover, though.
Fail.
65-59, a fail for the Cougars. Duke has had, let's just say, no problem covering lately. They have been smashing everyone. Cooper Flagg at it again last night on ESPN.
Yeah, Race is my little sis, of course. Former Nike executive.
Cooper Flagg with a two-hander.
Listen, they were chanting 1 more year, everything else. This kid is the complete player. They are, and remember, they're winning games by 35, 40 points a night, and like 2 of their best players are out. They got injuries left and right, and yet the backups come in, and they still win by 35 or 40. They blew out Wake. We covered in that game. And the other game, is UCLA. They covered the 3.5. They won by 4. But the thing is with Flagg, what I want, obviously he could go number 1. But what I'd love to see is that kid play another year of college at Duke and to get paid all kinds of money to do it. Like, what's the difference between, he'll go pro and he's going to end up on some crappy team and he's going to learn the hard way in the NBA. But at college, he is still so much fun to watch play basketball. I think he'll be great in the NBA eventually. Eventually, he'll be great. But you're going to stick him on some crap team in the NBA, he's going to learn the hard way. It is not going to go according to script that he's just going to step in and start having 30 a night. It's not happening. It isn't. He's not that kind of player. I think he's a really great player that does a lot of things. But when he goes up against grown men, this kid's 18 years old, he's going to learn the hard way. I'm telling you. It's the NBA. It's no joke. These guys are better than him.
You did mention also UCLA barely with the cover, 73-69.
They got it done.
Got it done.
The Eagles got it done. If you back them, you're celebrating. Football season may be over, but the action never stops.
Are you ready for some baseball?
At SportsGrid, we're always in the game. We bring you 24/7 betting insights, expert picks, and real-time analysis. Next big play is already in motion. Are you ready? It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. But I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
All right, college rack, beyond what we've already talked about. I'll say this. So UCLA, they did get it done, and they covered the 3 and a hook. They win by 4 at Northwestern over Collins Wildcats. There's something about that UCLA team that's just not cutting it for me. I think they're going to get beat in the NCAA tournament in short order. He said they were soft 100 times. He's always said they were soft. He's not allowed to say it anymore because the administration turned on him. But he knows as well as you and I, they're soft.
I would not take them to go far. Depending on who they're playing the first weekend, and they're going to be in some tough game. I mean, they're going to be in some 8-9, 7-10 type of game. That maybe they'll get through that, but are they going to beat a 1 or a 2 seed in the second game?
No.
I highly doubt it. Not with the way that they play. So Nick's got some work to do, whether it's going to be there or somewhere else down the line. Also last night, you had that A-Sun tournament. Pretty much all chalk. There was one upset, which was, I guess, Queens over Florida Gulf Coast. But Lipscomb, Jacksonville, and North Alabama all they will play again Thursday night in the semis. So semis for the A-Sun will be on Thursday night, and we will get back to looking at those games. Teams with 10 or more quad 1 wins. Only 4 of them this year. Auburn, Tennessee, Alabama, and Michigan State. So 3 SEC and 1 Big Ten. Teams with 10 or more quad 1 wins. Sparty again, looking strong.
I think that for my money, Duke's got to be in that. That's a really healthy Final Four look right there. Those 4 teams are all very capable of making it to the Final Four. And for my money, it would be Duke over Tennessee. Tennessee, to me, is really good defensively, and I think they have bad shooting nights. So much like people worry about St. John's, no one's given St. John's respect that they can shoot the rock in the NCAA tournament. People are worried about the Big East tournament. That they want them to win the Big East tournament at the Garden. That's what people want in New York. But I want beyond that. This is a great, fantastic defensive full court press team that is incredibly gifted. And they don't shoot the ball well, so no one believes they're going to win in the tournament. Tennessee's another team like that. They have nights where they just don't shoot the rock well. Tell you another team that does it is A&M. They're another team that goes cold like a faucet, shooting. Like, you cannot win in the NCAA tournament if you can't put the ball in the hole. It's real simple. If all you can do is stop everybody and you can't score, you got problems on your hands. Duke doesn't have that problem. So I would replace, in that 4 right there that you just said, it would be Duke over Tennessee.
Next for you, we've got 3 more conference tournaments that are starting tonight. I wanted to give you these. I'll give you the individual game numbers in a little bit because I have some boards for them. But this is just to win these conference tournaments. Now, we love the Horizon. It's one of our favorites. And look who the favorites are to win. Bobby Moe, the favorites at plus 260. Then Milwaukee right there with them. Cleveland State plus 360. Purdue Fort Wayne 550. The Penguins, Youngstown, Oakland, who won it last year, Northern Kentucky, Wright State. The Horizon tournament starts tonight.
Yeah, and look, I think Bobby Moe's fantastic, but those games are so brutal with Milwaukee, Cleveland State, and Purdue Fort Wayne. To me, it's one of those 3, Bobby Moe, Milwaukee, or Cleveland State, that will win the Horizon. Purdue Fort Wayne, I've seen them drop games. Easy games, I've seen them lose. So I think it's the top 3 right there. I hope it's Bobby Moe, but they got their hands full with Milwaukee and Cleveland State. Cleveland State at one point this year was the hottest team in America. They're very dangerous in a tournament setting. I mean, these brothers can flat out ball.
I'm taking Cleveland State. I love Bobby Moe also, but this is the first time since they've been in this league that they've actually been good. And I'm not sure that they close the door here the first time they're the best team in the Horizon. I think one of these teams handle it. Yeah, I like Cleveland State to be the team that takes care of business. Next, Patriot League gets going tonight as well. Now, I need the board because I don't have the Patriot League in New York. Too many New York teams in the Patriot League. I can't play it. Bucknell, American, Colgate, Boston U, then Navy, Army, all those long shot ones. Bucknell obviously been the best team, but American's been pretty good too.
Yeah, and I'm willing to even say for my money that Colgate toothpaste is in this as well. I think they're in it for sure. Those 3 are really good. The Bison, American, and toothpaste are all involved. They're not wrong with those odds.
And the Sun Belt starts tonight, too, with Arkansas State being the favorite. South Alabama, James Madison, all pretty close. Troy's only 4-1, too. Everyone else 20-1 or longer. But I had to show you this because I don't know if you've seen this or not. Did you see the format that the Sun Belt has gone to now to determine their champion? Look at this. That's the bracket. You would have to, if you're one of the 4 worst teams playing tonight, you would have to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 games to win the Sun Belt Conference. Look at that. Look at how they're doing this tournament. Wild, ladder style.
Well, I think it's great. And I think that there's really good teams in there. I think that Arkansas State and South Alabama I think they're destined to play each other. They're both really tough. So I think that's going to be a fantastic tournament. Like, it's just as simple as that. I think all these tournaments, as I said earlier in the show, they're all really good. This is great basketball. Like, if you went to these games, you'd be loving life. I mean, the gym's just rocking and people losing their minds and down to the wire games left and right. You're going to see over the next few days, just like last night with Queens. They had no business winning that game, but they kicked their ass on the road. I mean, it's going to happen.
The Eagles got it done. If you back them, you're celebrating. Football season may be over, but the action never stops.
Are you ready for some baseball?
At SportsGrid, we're always in the game. We bring you 24/7 betting insights, expert picks, and real-time analysis. Next big play is already in motion. Are you ready? It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. But I've played it well, and I really liked it that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so let's look at these racks of games tonight because there's tons of really good basketball games outside of these conference tournament games that are happening tonight. There's just a bevy.
Yep, huge night here for last couple of times for these bubble teams to make a statement going into the conference tournaments. Georgia is one of those, and they will be on the road tonight in South Carolina. Now, this has swung a little bit here. We've got Georgia minus 1.5 on the board. Last night I saw South Carolina minus 1.5, and I do see one or two books still right now, Scotty, with South Carolina minus 1.5. So that's a very tricky number, dangerous with Georgia going in there tonight. Memphis is at UTSA. Rutgers is at Purdue, big number. LSU at Kentucky. There's Kentucky laying 12.5 at Rupp Arena tonight. North Carolina laying 7.5 in Blacksburg.
Yeah, look, I like Georgia getting 1.5. That's what they're getting. They are getting 1.5 in Columbia. I like Memphis on the road. I think they'll get it done. I like Purdue at Mackey. I hit the Rutgers big cover with them getting all the points, and they lost by 2 in their last game. That was huge. Tonight they get whacked in West Lafayette. Not a fun place to play. Kentucky at home will destroy LSU. They're awful. But listen, I said what I said to Mike DeCourcy. He's got them ranked 10th. Kentucky's no more 10th than I am. They're 19-10. Indiana's 18-11. What's the difference? SEC, Big Ten. All I hear about is the SEC. The Big Ten has just a fantastic slew of good teams. Kentucky, in his world, is overrated. In my book, they're overrated. They're not. They've lost games at Rupp this year. I can't even imagine. They're not going anywhere in the NCAA tournament. But they'll win tonight because LSU is hairdryer city. And I like North Carolina tonight in Blacksburg over the Hokies. They suck.
Good game in the A10 tonight. St. Louis visiting Dayton. Both of these teams pretty good. Dayton minus 6.5 right now at home. Creighton visits Seton Hall in Newark at the Rock. They're laying a big number on the road. Texas visits Mississippi State tonight. Bulldogs minus 7.5. Baylor's a road favorite at TCU. Villanova a road favorite at Georgetown.
Yeah, I like Villanova on the road in D.C. over the Hoyas. They're soft. I like I like Baylor at TCU. It won't be easy, but I still think they get it done. I like Mississippi State at home, but I think that number might be too thick at 7.5. I think Creighton will win at the Rock. And then I think St. Louis will cover the number at Dayton. They're a good team. I think that's going to be a overtime game. I think that's a 3 or 4 point game at most in my book. Dayton's got 20 wins. I think St. Louis has 17 wins, something like that. They're tough. So let's see if the Billikens can give them a game tonight on the road in Ohio.
Next rack, number 1 Auburn tonight, visiting Texas A&M. Texas A&M's lost 4 in a row. Not exactly the type of team you want to play trying to snap
make it 5
losing streak. Make it 5. BYU visiting Iowa State tonight. Another really good game. West Virginia at Utah. Florida State visiting Virginia, and New Mexico laying 1.5 in Reno against the Wolfpack.
New Mexico's better than Nevada. A tough game in Reno for sure, but I like the Lobos on the road. All of a sudden, Virginia's playing well. I'll take them in Charlottesville over the Noles. I like West Virginia to win in Salt Lake. Their coach got fired. They're a mess. They're talking about his replacement instead of worrying about the games they have on the table. I like BYU in the number at the Hilton in Ames. The number's too thick. I think that Iowa State BYU game's a 1-point game. I think it's going to be fantastic tonight, game of the night. And Auburn's going to beat A&M in College Station. A&M needs this game so bad it's not even funny. They're melting. They're losing every game they play. But when you turn around and have to play this behemoth, it's not the kind of game you want to get right. If they pull that off tonight, I will keel over because Auburn is serious on both ends of the floor. Good luck stopping Broom.
After you talk to Elvis, I'll give you the rest. I've got a few more racks, including those Horizon games, Sunbelt games. I've got stragglers like the Patriot League games tonight. So we do have some more that we'll have to do later after you start the hour with Elvis.
People like stragglers almost as much as leftovers. It's become a thing.
Very true.
The Eagles got it done. If you back them, you're celebrating. Football season may be over, but the action never stops.
Are you ready for some baseball?
At SportsGrid, we're always in the game. We bring you 24/7 betting insights, expert picks, and real-time analysis. Next big play is already in motion. Are you ready? It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.